On Monday morning, April 25th, Scout woke up from his night sleeping on the forest floor, looking forward to another day of adventure being a hound dog. Little did he know that within the hour or so, he would be no more. His life had come to an end before we even woke up that morning. All the looking, all the searching, all the wondering has come to an end, and we have laid Scout to rest in peace.
For some reason, never ever did it cross our minds, did it cross anyone's mind, that Scout could have drowned. And that's how Scout died. There was a creek nearby. That creek is otherwise relatively insignificant or unconcerning, except for a small hydroelectric dam that was installed in a section of that creek for some cottages down below. Yeah, it just never crossed our mind. It never crossed the minds of the people that have the cottages or the properties there. No one ever, even in the comments of the people that watched the video, I read them all to try and gain some insight too, and yeah, no one just thought, could Scout have drowned somewhere? And his body was found Tuesday morning, May 24th, and he was more or less right under our noses the whole time, but the people that have the cottages in that area were just doing a routine check on the hydroelectric dam, which is not really a place that people go to. It's kind of out of the way. It's not on their road to access their properties, but it's sort of on an ATV road up the creek. I don't know what to say. I've tried to do this video a couple of times again, and this is another attempt. I've been dreading it. Honestly, I've been procrastinating, trying to even make this video. I thought I would just write a post, and then that just didn't feel right. I feel like I got everyone into it by a video, so I will see you through it by a video, and I feel that Scout's story deserves completion, I guess, if you will. I'm gonna go over a little bit of the story, of the details of what we think happened. And there's still a mystery within the mystery. I would try to not keep this long, but I feel like there's so much information in my head. I think about this all the time still. More or less, Scout, I think Scout's motivation for going to the creek, what was his motivation? Did it look like he was trying to cross the creek? That's what we initially thought. And now, based on the fact that, looking at Scout's path the night before, he had tried to go down to the lake. He got to a steep part, and then he turned around and went back and laid down for the night. And based on how thirsty Clyde was when we got him back to the cabin at like 4:30 in the morning, I swear to God, I've never seen him drink so much. He drank for 20 minutes straight. I had to keep filling the water dish. I believe that Scout got up in the morning to go look for a drink of water and fell in to the dam. See, the tricky thing is, and I think I'm gonna insert, I'm gonna go to the computer and show you a picture of it, because it's confusing to us still how he got to where he ended up. Yeah, so here's just a picture. We went out there the night after we heard about this. So here is the hydroelectric dam thing. Scout's body was found in here, and he either had to have come over here and fallen in here, or he had to have drowned somewhere else and come up underneath this board and wound up here, which is a debris catchment. So there's sort of just the way it's designed is that this is where the debris comes. There's a small little hole through these boards so that nothing gets through except water. And so if anything, the hard part to try and figure out is that if Scout came along here and tried to get a drink in here, he would have fallen in here. And this is isolated, so his body should have stayed in here if this is where he actually fell into. The other thing is did he try to get by this thing, and did he think that maybe there was some debris over here and he put his paw down, he tried to go across, but then why would he try to go across? Then I realized that I think the reason what compelled him to come here so quickly and maybe without a little bit of concern, I think, is that he was so thirsty maybe so did he try to get a drink here? And, sometimes a dog just can't get his footing and he thinks, oh, maybe I'll try over here. And he fell in here. Either way, somehow he ended up in here, whether, along here is a cliff. Could he have come down here? This is a little bit of a drop, but, he wouldn't have gone down into here. And the sad thing is, honestly, is here is a grate. There's a metal grate, and they had a metal grate over this whole thing, and then they took it off like not that long ago. Anyway, I just don't know how Scout would have come down into here to drown in here. If anything, I just think that he would have drowned in here, but we just don't know. The creek is pretty shallow. Right now, when we were there, it was a lot faster than it was when Steve was there a month ago, he said. So, yeah, there's a bridge right up here. So all he had to do was like walk along. There's a path that goes right along here, and he could have just walked right across. So we just can't understand, what happened. It was either that he went upstream, either fell, somehow got hurt, or maybe something drowned upstream and then got washed downstream. The only reason that doesn't make sense is that the creek is quite shallow, and if Scout fell, he could have just so easily gotten up. He doesn't look to, we got his body back, obviously. He didn't look to have had any injury, no broken bones. We felt him, and nothing seemed odd or out of the ordinary that way. So the other option is that he somehow got maybe into the pond outside of that triangular shaped thing. Did he fall into that, drown, and then he popped up into that debris catchment area? If anything, we think that if Scout was going to lean down to get a drink of water in any of those areas, he would have fallen into the first compartment. The first compartment, which is completely isolated from the other compartment and from the rest of the pond. It's all boards all the way down. So we just don't know how he ended up in this triangular shaped thing. The only other thing that we could have thought was that he tried to cross the creek. He maybe thought that there was something solid to put his paw down on, like, a bunch of debris was there, and maybe he thought, okay, I can put my paw down and get a drink, or I'm gonna cross to get around that blue bar, that sort of like that gate thing that's there. Yeah, so that is the mystery that I don't think we'll ever know, is how he got in there. We just know that somehow he drowned, more than likely trying to get a drink of water, and why he chose to go to the only dangerous part on that whole creek is so, I don't want to say frustrating. He was obviously thirsty, and all the other parts that he probably saw looked too dangerous, and they were. Like, if you think he came up from here. This is the paper. The funny thing is I had kept this map that I made to do for the other video. I kept it. It sat around on the table, and Tuesday morning, May 24th, before I went to work, I threw it out because I was like, well, I guess we don't need this anymore. And like 2 hours later, I got a phone call from the people that live out there and said that they found Scout's body. So I pulled this back out of the garbage. That's why it looks like this. But Scout came up here. There's an ATV road here, private property. I had actually wound up on this area myself, but instead of going on the ATV road, I traversed back up the mountain this way. And I believe that Scout went on the ATV road. He came to an intersection here. This goes down to these cabins here, and this goes up. And now this is extremely downhill and this is extremely uphill. And Scout had an easier time to go uphill because he had 2 strong back legs. Downhill was hard with 1 arm. So I think that's why he chose to go up. Don't know. And this is all falls. This is a fast creek. No animal would even consider going toward it. And that the only place where Scout thought to get a drink was exactly where that ATV road ended, and there is the dam. Here he is. Here is Scout's ashes. Something we never thought we would see again is his body intact, the people from that area brought Scout home to us, and he laid on our lawn one more time before we got him cremated. His collars. And that's all there is to it. I mean, I'm not an overly superstitious person, but I do believe in strange things happening because they've happened to me personally. And I do believe that in some way we all have our time set out for us, whether we're gonna live or we're gonna die. And I guess it was just Scout's time to die that day. Just like many years ago, it was my time not to die by not going on a plane and it crashing. So there were signs that kept kind of insidiously pointing us to Scout drowning. The week before Scout drowned, Clyde actually just about drowned here at home in our swimming pool. It of course was frozen over the winter, and Clyde had been crossing over the pool over the winter time. And this one day, as the ice thawed just enough, Clyde had tried to cross it, fell in. And if it weren't for the fact that I was homesick from work that day and saw Clyde in the pool, Clyde probably would have drowned. Believe it or not, Steve actually walked right up to that dam. So Scout drowned Monday morning. Steve went to that dam Tuesday and Wednesday. And in retrospect, he looks back at it and he thinks that, yeah, he walked up to the dam and he thought, like, no, like there's no way, Scout's not here. Why would he try to go in the creek here? Or like, maybe he'd get a drink. There's lots of places to get a drink. And I think that's the only thing we thought is, great, there's a creek there. At least he could get a drink. It just never crossed our mind. And there it was. Scout was submerged in the pond there. And that's why he got no signal. His collar still was working. There was no signal because he was submerged in water. Steve went Wednesday as well. Once he got the ATV going, he ATV'd all the way along in those ATV roads and logging roads and went to that same spot again. And he just kept having this pull to kind of go back to where Scout had spent the night and walking on these game trails in that area and that ATV trail. And we basically, after a week of no signal, those first few days, the collar lasts about 3 to 4 days. We thought, well, he's definitely not here, so he has to be up. Like, he has to have gone up. And we based a lot of our decisions on what he had done the month before. When he spent the night out before, he wound up on the rail grade. So we know that his previous experience with spending the night out there was that he went up. And that seemed like the logical thing to think. Did he do that before? Did he go to get a drink in the same spot before and he was fine? And this time something happened and he slipped? Don't know. The other weird thing that had happened while Scout was gone and we were back at home and we'd just sit and talk about things was that Steve kept bringing up when he was in Royal Military College, when he was a teenager, this guy that he went to Royal Military College with, who was going to become a pilot, drowned. And they couldn't find his body for 3 days, and he had drowned in a pool doing a test, like a physical thing, an event, and no sign of this kid. And he had drowned, like 17 years old, and it took them 3 days to find the body. And Steve kept talking about this kid, like, for a long time, the drowning of this kid. And I was just like, why are you talking about this? I don't even know who this person is. Like, okay, I get it. Like, it's really sad, but, for some reason he just kept talking about it. But never did we even think that Scout could have drowned. Anyway, the mystery's over. Well, it's not quite. The mystery is solved for the most part. We have closure, although this last week has probably been, I don't even want to say harder, but has been just like shifted over and like walking into a brick wall of like, what? Like, drowned. No matter what, the only thing that would have saved Scout is if he didn't spend the night outside. Him spending the night out in the forest in it of itself actually was not dangerous. Like, it was like a freak accident. I think that's it. I just wanted to get this over with. And I know that a lot of people that saw that, a lot of people that watch all the videos that know that Scout has been missing. I do know that there are so many people, heartfelt, genuinely have been concerned and rooting for Scout and hoping that he showed up alive somewhere, and also just want to know what has happened, like what the heck happened to him. He just like vanished. And I hope that this gives closure to everyone else too. And that's it. We're still grieving a lot, to be honest. We still talk about it a lot. We're still waking up in the night thinking about it. But slowly, like a little bit each day, is starting to get a little bit better. And we have him home with us, and that's all I can say. So thank you, and bye for now. I'll see you guys in the next video.